Did you know that Marilyn Monroe and Cary Grant, despite their fame, weren't the richest actors of their time? Some Golden Age stars were so incredibly wealthy, they could have bought entire studios without hesitation. Their fortunes didn't just come from acting, they grew through smart investments, record-breaking contracts, and fearless business moves. Here's a list of the 16 richest actors of Hollywood's golden era, with the #1 entry guaranteed to leave you speechless. Gloria Swanson, worth $20 million today. Gloria Swanson wasn't just a Hollywood star, she was a force of nature. Known for her lavish lifestyle, Swanson built a legacy of wealth and independence, proving that she could finance the glamour she embodied. Her life was a dazzling mix of ambition, talent, and sharp business instincts, making her one of old Hollywood's wealthiest and most legendary figures. While audiences adored her for Sunset Boulevard and her unforgettable silent film career, her financial empire stretched far beyond the silver screen. At the peak of her career in the 1920s, Gloria Swanson wasn't just a star. She was one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood, but she didn't stop at acting. She built her fortune through film production, real estate, and even oil investments, proving she was as much a business mogul as she was a screen legend. On top of that, she launched her own production company to take charge of her career and maximize her earnings, a gutsy move at a time when actresses rarely had that kind of control. Even as her time in the spotlight faded, Swanson remained an icon. Katharine Hepburn, worth $32 million today. Imagine having so much wealth and confidence that you could make Hollywood play by your rules. That's exactly what Katharine Hepburn did. With 4 Academy Awards and a fearless attitude, she wasn't just a star, she was a trailblazer. But her fortune didn't come from acting alone. Hepburn was born into immense privilege, giving her financial freedom that most stars could only dream of. Her father, Dr. Thomas Hepburn, was a highly successful urologist and public health pioneer, while her mother, Catherine Martha Houghton Hepburn, was both an activist and an heiress to the massive Houghton family fortune, tied to the Corning Glass Works empire. This kind of generational wealth gave Hepburn a head start, shaping her bold personality and unwavering confidence. Raised in a world of private schools and high society, she carried that fearless energy into Hollywood, refusing to conform to the industry's rigid expectations. By the time Katharine Hepburn passed away in 2003, her estate was estimated at $20 million, equivalent to about $32 million today. But her most treasured possession wasn't money. It was the breathtaking 7.17-acre waterfront estate in Connecticut, a property her family had owned since 1913. Unlike many Hollywood stars whose fortunes came and went, Hepburn's wealth wasn't just tied to her acting career. It was rooted in a powerful family legacy that lasted for generations. Mae West, worth $22 million today. Mae West wasn't just a Hollywood star. She was a financial powerhouse, one of the richest and highest-paid actresses of her time. She built a massive fortune through sharp business moves and undeniable talent. In the mid-1930s, West wasn't just the highest-paid actress in Hollywood. She was one of the highest-earning people in the entire country. By 1935, she was raking in a jaw-dropping $300,000 per film, plus an extra $100,000 for writing her own screenplays, a staggering income, especially during the Great Depression. By the time Mae West passed away in 1980, her fortune was estimated at $10 million, roughly $32 million today when adjusted for inflation. But her wealth didn't just come from acting. West was a sharp businesswoman who knew how to make money work for her. She invested heavily in real estate and made sure she had control over her projects, securing a bigger slice of the profits than most stars of her time. Her earnings weren't just impressive, they often outpaced those of her Hollywood peers. Her massive success wasn't just about talent, it was the result of smart financial moves and a fearless ability to navigate the entertainment industry like a true boss. Grace Kelly, worth $120 million today. Grace Kelly wasn't just a Hollywood star, she became royalty, one of the wealthiest and most iconic figures of her era. Her fortune came from a mix of her brief but highly profitable acting career, a royal dowry, and the staggering wealth of Monaco's royal family. By the time of her tragic death in 1982, Kelly's personal fortune was estimated at $40 million, equivalent to an astonishing $120 million today. But that was just a fraction of the wealth she gained through her marriage to Prince Rainier III of Monaco, which connected her to a royal empire worth far more than her own earnings. Even after stepping away from Hollywood, she never lost her star power. She remained a global fashion icon, and her connection to luxury brands kept her influence alive. At the time of her passing, she left behind more than just wealth. She left a legacy of glamour, elegance, and timeless beauty that still captivates the world today. Cary Grant, worth $130 million today. Cary Grant wasn't just Hollywood's ultimate gentleman, he was also one of its smartest businessmen. A true icon of the golden age, his charm and on-screen presence made him one of the most beloved leading men of all time. But beyond the spotlight, Grant knew how to handle money. By the time of his passing on November 29, 1986, his fortune was estimated at $60 million, equivalent to a staggering $130 million today. Unlike many stars who burned through their fortunes, Grant was famously frugal and managed his wealth with precision. He invested wisely in stocks, bonds, and real estate, ensuring his financial security long after his acting days were over. But his smartest move? Negotiating profit-sharing deals for several of his films. This meant he continued making money from their box office success for years, a financial strategy that most actors of his time never even considered. Cary Grant wasn't just a Hollywood legend, he was a master of financial strategy. Known for his minimalist lifestyle and disciplined spending habits, he steered clear of reckless splurging, ensuring his wealth only grew over time. With a fortune of $60 million at the time of his death, equal to an incredible $130 million today, Grant left behind more than just iconic films. His financial savvy and timeless charm continue to inspire. Bing Crosby, worth $200 million today. Bing Crosby wasn't just a legendary entertainer, he was a financial powerhouse. Born Harry Lillis Crosby Jr., his career spanned over 5 decades, making him one of the most influential singers and actors of all time. By the time of his passing on October 14, 1977, his fortune was estimated at $50 million, worth over $200 million today. But Crosby's wealth didn't just come from music and movies. He was a sharp businessman with an eye for lucrative investments. He poured his money into real estate, oil wells, mining operations, cattle ranches, racehorses, and even music publishing. On top of that, he owned stakes in baseball teams and played a major role in shaping early television, hosting The Bing Crosby Show and cementing his place as a holiday tradition with his beloved Christmas specials. Bing Crosby didn't just build a fortune, he made sure it was carefully managed. In his will, he arranged for his 7 children to inherit his wealth, but with a twist. Their funds were locked in a blind trust until they turned 65. This meant that many of his children never fully accessed their inheritance during their lifetimes. Gloria Vanderbilt, worth $223 million today. Gloria Vanderbilt wasn't just an heiress, she was a fashion mogul, artist, author, and socialite who built an empire of her own. At the time of her passing in 2019, her fortune was estimated at $200 million, equivalent to around $223 million today when adjusted for inflation. Born into the legendary Vanderbilt family, she was the great-great-granddaughter of railroad tycoon Cornelius Vanderbilt, one of the richest Americans in history. While the family fortune had dwindled by her time, she still inherited a $5 million trust fund as a child, which would be worth a staggering $100 million today. Bob Hope, worth $235 million today. Bob Hope wasn't just a legendary entertainer, he was one of the richest figures in show business. By the time of his passing in 2003, his fortune was estimated at $150 million, equivalent to an incredible $235 million today. Hope's career spanned an astonishing 8 decades with over 70 films, countless television specials, and wildly popular radio programs under his belt. His Road to Film series with Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour was a massive hit, bringing in huge profits and turning him into a household name. But Hope's impact went beyond Hollywood. He was a legend among U.S. troops. For decades, he was a key figure in USO tours, traveling the world to entertain soldiers overseas. He also mastered the transition from radio and film to television, hosting annual specials that pulled in massive audiences and kept him at the top of the entertainment world for generations. Randolph Scott, worth $260 million today. Randolph Scott wasn't just a Western movie star, he was a financial powerhouse. Thanks to his wildly successful acting career and smart investments, he amassed an extraordinary fortune. By the time of his passing in 1987, his net worth was estimated at $100 million, equivalent to a staggering $260 million today. Scott was a true box office draw, starring in over 100 films throughout his career. Randolph Scott wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was a master negotiator. Unlike many actors of his time, he worked as an independent performer, giving him the power to negotiate better deals and secure a bigger slice of his film's profits. This smart move set him apart and helped him build lasting wealth. Fred MacMurray, worth $322 million today. Fred MacMurray wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was one of the richest actors of his time. Best known for classics like Double Indemnity and the beloved sitcom My Three Sons, he built a fortune that few in the industry could match. By the time of his passing in 1991, his net worth was estimated at $150 million, equivalent to an astounding $322 million today. Over a career spanning 4 decades, MacMurray starred in more than 100 films, proving himself as a reliable box office powerhouse. He effortlessly moved between film noir, comedies, and Disney family favorites, making him one of the most versatile actors in Hollywood. Charlie Chaplin, worth $400 million today. Charlie Chaplin wasn't just a film legend, he was one of the richest entertainers of his time. A true creative genius, he didn't just act, he directed, produced, and controlled his own work, ensuring that his success translated into lasting wealth. By the time of his passing in 1977, Chaplin's fortune was estimated at $100 million, worth over $400 million today. His immense wealth wasn't just from his on-screen magic, it was the result of smart financial planning, owning the rights to his films, and making strategic investments. His ability to turn artistic brilliance into a financial empire set him apart as one of Hollywood's most powerful figures. By the time of his passing, Chaplin's wealth and legacy were undeniable. He wasn't just one of cinema's greatest visionaries, he was also one of old Hollywood's richest and most financially savvy stars. Gene Autry, worth $580 million today. Gene Autry wasn't just a cowboy on screen. He was a business mogul in real life. Known as the Singing Cowboy, he built a financial empire that stretched far beyond music, film, and television. With a career that blended entertainment and smart investments, Autry became one of the wealthiest stars of his time. By the time of his passing in 1998, his net worth was estimated at a staggering $320 million. Elizabeth Taylor, worth $800 million today. Elizabeth Taylor wasn't just a Hollywood legend. She was a global icon whose fortune stretched far beyond acting. Famous for her lavish lifestyle and obsession with diamonds, her wealth came from a combination of blockbuster film salaries, savvy business ventures, and a jaw-dropping jewelry collection that shattered records at auction after her passing. Taylor was one of the highest-paid actresses of her time, setting new standards for Hollywood paychecks. She made history as the first star to earn $1 million for a single film. Her legendary role in Cleopatra. With her striking beauty, undeniable talent, and massive box office appeal, she commanded record-breaking salaries throughout the 1950s and 1960s, securing her place as one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Taylor's love for luxury went beyond fashion. She was one of the most passionate jewelry collectors in history. She owned some of the world's most famous and expensive pieces, including the dazzling 33-carat Krupp diamond, later renamed the Elizabeth Taylor diamond, and the jaw-dropping 69-carat Taylor Burton diamond, a legendary gift from Richard Burton. After her passing in 2011, her jewelry collection was auctioned by Christie's for a record-breaking $116.8 million, solidifying her reputation as the ultimate connoisseur of glamour and wealth. By the time of her passing in 2011, Taylor's net worth was estimated at $600 million, equivalent to an astonishing $800 million today. Her legacy as one of the richest and most glamorous actresses of all time wasn't just built on Hollywood fame, it was the result of her genius in turning stardom into a business empire. The record-breaking Christie's auction of her jewelry collection remains a stunning reminder of her wealth, extravagant taste, and lasting influence. Mary Pickford, worth $800 million today. Mary Pickford wasn't just America's sweetheart. She was a Hollywood powerhouse. One of the most famous stars of the silent film era, she became one of the richest and most influential figures in entertainment history. Her massive fortune came not just from acting, but from groundbreaking business ventures that helped shape the modern film industry. At the peak of her career, Pickford's wealth was estimated at $40 million, worth over $800 million today. She was one of the first actors to ever become a millionaire, an unheard-of achievement in early Hollywood. In 1919, Mary Pickford made Hollywood history by co-founding United Artists, alongside Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith. This groundbreaking move gave her unprecedented creative and financial control over her films, something almost unheard of at the time. Unlike most actors who were simply paid salaries, Pickford secured a share of the profits, massively increasing her wealth and influence. By the time of her passing in 1979, her fortune had dwindled to around $50 million, partly due to her generous philanthropy and the decline of her film-related assets. Still, her legacy as one of old Hollywood's wealthiest and most influential pioneers remains untouchable. Dina Merrill, worth $5.6 billion today. Dina Merrill wasn't just a Hollywood actress, she was one of the richest women in America. Born Nadinia Marjorie Hutton on December 29, 1923, in New York City, she came from two of the country's wealthiest families. Her father, Edward Francis Hutton, was a Wall Street powerhouse, while her mother, Marjorie Merriweather Post, was the heiress to the massive Post cereal empire. Merrill's mother inherited a staggering $250 million fortune in 1914, an amount worth an unbelievable $5 billion today. This enormous family wealth set the stage for Merrill's financial empire. By the time of her passing on May 22, 2017, her net worth was estimated at $5 billion.